think I might change my theme in the beginning. My little intro, put on something different, but I just enjoy it, child. I just be shaking and jamming, finger be twisting and everything. How y'all doing today? It is Saturday, November the 8th, and we are still in this horrible dream. Yes, we are still in this horrible dream, but listen, we are not about to talk about anything political. Hopefully, these food stamps go out to the people that need them. But for now, we're going to talk about Judge Mathis and Charles Oakley going back and forth. Now, how old are these people? Eddie Murphy, Michael Jackson got a biopic out. It's doing major numbers in the lottery, child. Y'all know I need to hit the lottery because I'm so sick of working. I'm talking about I am sick and tired of working. If I could just, you know what? We're going to go ahead on and get to these stories because if I hit the lottery, oh, y'all going to hear about it. Oh, because I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you all day long. I'm going to walk you through my new mansion. Well, I wouldn't even want a mansion. You know what I would love? Like, I would have, because it's just me and my dogs, I would have just maybe like a penthouse somewhere, a couple penthouses, different places, because I need to be one way in, one way out, but I need a great view, perhaps a balcony, because I want to be able to open up the door, get the fresh air in and out, and maybe a villa here and there, but nothing too big. I don't see the point of having a 37,000 square foot mansion, and it's just me. I wouldn't even know who the hell living on the other side of the place. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do want to talk about the fact that we are having, these different economic issues, and it's just getting crazy. Now, I saw that Wendy's is set to be closing, hundreds of restaurants across the U.S., right? So, child, it's about to get real in the field. Now, Wendy's is set to close hundreds of restaurants across America, right? The United States in particular. Now, the fast food restaurant chain, the CEO, Mr. Ken Cook, announced November the 7th, which was yesterday. That's right. I've been giving y'all fresh news. So I'm going to need for you to go ahead on and click. Go on ahead on and click. At least get the notification. Dang. I mean, help us out. I mean, you here? I mean, come on. Take your coat off. Relax. I'm just saying, just relax. It's gonna be all right. I ain't gonna hurt you. Okay. So he said yesterday that a mid single digit percentage of Wendy's locations, US, right, are going to be closing. So he's saying about 200 to 350 restaurants are set to close, and and that's because they're underperforming, right, in the sales. So they're not making money in that department. These actions will strengthen the system and enable franchisees to invest in more capital and resources in their remaining restaurants. So it's not like these people that are closing these restaurants are losing money. However, it's the employees that are going to be out of a job. And 200 to 350, that is a lot of people out of work. And especially in this economy with September numbers were extremely high, October numbers were extremely high. So, you know, so the CEO went on to say that these actions, of course, they're going to strengthen the restaurants. It's going to help, the people out. But he's talking about the people at the top, not the people at the bottom. Okay. Now, while the company did not provide a list of the exact locations expected to shut their doors, Cook explained that a number of the chain restaurants do not elevate the brand and are a drag from a financial, financial performance perspective, right? So the CEO went on to say that back in August, excuse me, that the brand is not happy with the sales performance. At the time, the company, which has lost nearly 50% of its stock value this year, announced a comprehensive strategic plan called Project Fresh to kind of rebrand and, do like a little refreshment on the marketing and, update the menu and, just basically try to get more people in because they're losing business, right? Now they have the former CEO of Taco Bell who is helping them with this Project Fresh. Now, Wendy's board of directors and management team are dissatisfied with the current valuation of the company and have been working to put the company on the right path to create value for the franchisees, the employees, and the shareholders, right? Now, he went on to say that the execution is underway and we are confident that Project Fresh will position Wendy's as an industry leader, one that guests, will love. The franchisees are proud to operate. The teams are excited to be a part of. And, they create significant value for the stakeholders, which is what the main objective is. Now, one food item that has helped Wendy's recently, in the news, is the chicken tenders. I guess they're delicious or something. Now, Cook says that, it's a new staple. We're looking forward to continuing that momentum. And this is an encouraging first step as we look to reestablish our leadership position in chicken. Now, the most recent wave of closure comes 1 year after Wendy's announced it would be closing 140 restaurants that were outdated and located in underperforming areas, on top of the 100 closures that the company announced a few months prior. So if you add it up, that's 240 already, plus the 200 to 350. They're just in locations that don't build our brand. And that's just what the CEO just keeps saying. You look at a brand that's 55 years old, and some of those restaurants are quite outdated. I've been in places that y'all remember when they were transitioning McDonald's from the old to the new. Y'all remember when the little playground area was very dangerous for the children. I remember when they were good to play in, and then I remember when they got dangerous. So I was there right before they started getting rusty. You get what I'm saying? I was there, child. I was there. Yes, your girl has lived in and out of a McDonald's kids play area, child. Now, this is gonna, you know what? I think with people, being more health cautious and with them trying to kind of push that fake meat on you. It's kind of like, I don't know for you guys, but for me, I just prefer to cook at home. I would, like I like to go to my local farmers market and get my veggies and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I might go to Walmart or HEB here and there, but I'll go to my farmers market. I also go to like different butcher shops and then try to get, meats from there because it's fresh. They get their cows from a local farmer and they cut it down and they, you know what I'm saying? It's like a little slaughterhouse type thing. But, so I try to do that. So, yeah, so just take care of yourself because you don't know what these people feeding you. And if you listen to different videos and people talking about how they put human remains in meat, and how they can test meat. They did studies and different went to different places and pulled different meats and how they found some form of human in the meat. So, you know, it's just a mess. And speaking of mess, child, now Dr. Phil's media company ordered to liquidate in bankruptcy case. Mm-hmm. Now y'all know that man had to fool around and sell all his stuff. Now, if you didn't know, now hold on 1 second, because I thought I had an article that was a little closer, but okay, this one will do. Now, a federal bankruptcy judge on Tuesday. Now, this was last week, like a week and a half ago. Wait, what date this was? October the 30th. So this is right for day for Halloween. A Dallas bankruptcy judge on Tuesday converted. Let's see. Now, do I want? Why would I want? Why did I bring this one up? You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I know that they were saying something about the man was lying about some text messages, something. But you know what? I don't even care no more. That's what he get. That's what happened when you put your nose in the wrong business. Him, the dude from the My Pillow guy who lost all his money. Now let's talk about something that's really important. That's really touching my heart and my soul. Now y'all know air traffic controllers have begun to put in a resignation, aim the government shutdown. Yeah, they are putting it in. Now I dated a guy when I was in the military. I dated this guy. He was an aircraft frame mechanic. I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah. Like he worked on like making sure that the wings and stuff were, good. So I guess so it could fly crisp in air. Yeah. Now, the head of the Air Traffic Controllers Union says the ongoing government shutdown is driving some controllers to quit as stress and financial strain mount. We're seeing air traffic controllers resign, said Nick Daniels, president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, in an interview with CNN. We are 400 fewer controllers today than during the 2019 shutdown. They've been stretched so thin for so long that they're actually resigning from the profession. The shutdown, now in its 37th day, has left federal employees unpaid. Democrats are demanding a deal that maintains Affordable Care Act subsidies, while Trump and Republicans have refused and leading to stalled negotiations. Now, the FAA confirmed an increase in sick calls and has slowed air traffic at 40 airports to manage staffing shortages. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy acknowledged the growing fatigue. They're working 6 days a week, 10-hour days. You're going to get burned out. That is not safe at all. Now, Daniel said the financial impact is especially hard on the new hires. They're calling their employers saying, I have no gas today, I can't pay for my child care. They're already maxing out credit cards and taking out loans. Oh my goodness. And you know what? People really do forget that a lot of people in America, I think it was like 90% of Americans are check to check. This society has created the idea that not having money was fine as long as you can make it to the next paycheck. You know how in some countries, and I'm an American, y'all can tell. So it ain't I'm bashing us as us, right? Because we are kind of jacked up. Like a lot of countries, they instill in their people, you save it. Not all, because I'm not general. I don't want to make it sound like I'm generalizing, but it seems like the American culture is all about spend, 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 and just debt, 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 versus other country where it's like, hey, you don't buy it unless you could pay cash for it. When I worked overseas and I met a lot of different people from a lot of different countries, and they all had one thing in common. A lot of the things they had were straight up paid off. They did not believe in getting no debts. If they had an iPhone, it was paid off. It wasn't no plan, no $10 a month for the next 6 years or whatever. Whatever the phone was, they paid it. They just paid their debts. They just didn't want to owe anyone. But in America, it just seems like that's just the American way. You're always in debt. You pay for your house, but you miss your tax. Your house gone. You're always in debt. You pay your car off, and then first thing people do as soon as they pay their car, they going to get a new car because they got to get a new car note. Because it's like you wanna stay forever in debt. And I seen this one video where the guy was like, a lot of Americans, you can't leave because you're so tied to material things in America that you just can't afford to leave. You're forever working, you know? And you got to sit back and think like, damn, do I really just want to be working for the rest of my life? You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what it did for the old people. Do I really want to be like working for the rest of my life, like walking in the water? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I want to be able to do it if I want to, not because I have to. Like, if I'm 89 years old and my grandchildren, great grandchildren, they out doing their thing, and I'm just tired of being at home, so I want to be a greeter at Walmart. That's perfect. My bills are paid. I'm just bored. I want to go be a greeter at Walmart. But I don't want to have to, at 89, have to go to Walmart to be a greeter. My bones may hurt. I might not want to go in that day. I might not want to see people. I might not want to speak. You know, give me a break. And while you giving me a break, please share, like, subscribe, follow. I appreciate it. Now, speaking of following, why is George Bush getting fresh with Michelle Obama? Now, y'all know you know your girl gonna have a video for y'all, but it's no secret that former President George W. Bush, I love these types of things, that George W. Bush and former First Lady Michelle Obama have one of the most unexpected and endearing friendships in modern American politics. The two have often shared warm moments at public events, from state funerals to commissaries to charming the nation with their easy chemistry and mutual respect. I love it. I do. But now that friendship is raising a few eyebrows after a playful but eyebrow raising remark from President Bush. They called her, some people said it was a little too friendly, right? I don't think it was too friendly, but whatever. Now, in the podcast, you know what? This is George W. Bush's daughter. And so I am going to let her tell you guys about her dad and the first lady. So let me pull this up. Hold on. Rushing me, child. I'm getting it. Hold on.
More beloved relationship than you and my dad. People long for that.
How is he doing?
He's doing great. Oh, look at that. That picture was really the picture. I mean,
I want to just hug him up, but he keeps me entertained when we're seated together.
when we ran into your husband at a recent event maybe a year ago, and my dad was like, "How's my girlfriend?" As he walked off, he misses you.
I miss him.
He can't wait to see you.
Is he behaving himself?
No, he's not.
That's cute. Haters gonna hate, but that was cute. If you don't find that to be cute, you a hater. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, I ain't kidding. Now of course, everyone was talking all that other stuff or whatever. But at the end of the day, it was all fine and fun and all that, right? So, but fans were divided. Some found it to be playful, and others found it to be disrespectful. Now, okay, now here we go. Now, while some fans thought that Bush comments were, just friendly, teasing, or whatever, some felt that the jokes crossed the line, especially since Michelle is a married woman and one of the most respected public figures in the world. Now, one fan wrote, "It's cute that they're close, but calling another man's wife your girlfriend, that's a bit much." Someone else added, "Barack Obama's too smooth to take that seriously, but I wouldn't try that joke with anyone." Still, others saw it as harmless fun between friends. They've known each other for years. It's obvious a running joke, nothing more. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Let's be real. Real. Now, Bush and Michelle Obama's friendship has always stood out. Now, despite representing opposite political sides, the two share genuine warmth. Now, Michelle has described Bush as funny, kind, authentic, while Bush has said he loves her to death and considers her family. Their bond has often been highlighted as an example of civility and compassion in an era of political division. Now, at events honoring former presidents and first ladies, cameras have frequently caught the pair sharing friendly moments, handshakes, and smiles to those now famous candy exchanges that always seem to go viral. I love those. As for Barack Obama, the internet already decided he's far too cool to be bothered. Sources close to the Obamas say Barack finds friendship between the two enduring and funny, and he understands that Michelle and George are, they share a light-hearted, they just playing with each other, child. And honestly, who can blame them, right? When your wife is as beloved and admired as Michelle, even a former president might find himself a little shooken. You know what I mean? So while some might call Bush's girlfriend remarks, playful but risky, it seems all parties involved are laughing it off. After all, if Barack Obama isn't offended, nobody else should be, right? I'm just saying. But needless to say, how y'all doing? Listen, I have marinated me some chicken, and I put that thing. I cooked it, and I made some. What is that? It's called chamingming, chirmangamanga, some kind of sauce. It's green, and you use like parsley, olive oil, oregano, cilantro. You throw some onion. Yeah, you do some onion. You throw some garlic in there. You put it in your let blend it. You blend it up. You can either do a marinade or you can do just what's coming on the top. Oh, child. When I tell you that was delicious, it was delicious. Now, now moving on. Now I wanted to talk about this creator, but I just don't even want to talk about it because you know what? Because people be doing too much online. Now they had this TikToker. She was live streaming and she fatally struck this 59-year-old man crossing the street, and she just was like, "I just hit somebody." Matter of fact, I'm just gonna let y'all hear the audio because it's just so ridiculous. to the level that these kids don't care about nothing. Take a listen to this.
I don't know, it was weird, like, so, fuck! Okay. You okay? Oh, fuck. What was that? Fuck. You okay?
Okay, so she was on live and having a panel at that. And if you don't know what a TikTok panel is, it's when the host, which could be you invite up, various people. So you can have one person or you can have up to, I think, maybe like 8 or 10 people. She had about 2, 4, 6, 8 boxes up. And she's driving. And she hit someone. And she unalived this man. He was just walking, minding his business. And she hit him with her 2015 Ford SUV. Yeah, she struck and killed the man. This is absolutely ridiculous. He was a grocery store employee. He was dead on arrival at the local hospital. He was killed crossing the street. He was leaving work. He was leaving work. That's it. That's it and that's all. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. But I just don't know what to say. But needless to say, I do have a couple videos that I want to show you guys before we get up out of here. Now, y'all know how Steve Harvey like to go on and be talking his mess or whatever, right? So, no, not Steve Harvey, but he do like to talk his shit. But Judge Mathis. So Judge Mathis went out. I hope y'all got a few minutes because we're going to watch the Judge Mathis, because Judge Mathis was talking about when he had to put the pause on Charles Oakley. And Charles Oakley had to come back with his response and call Judge Mathis a liar. Now, I forgot about this couple. Okay, so y'all see them two people? So he is asking a white lady to, I'm going to talk about it on another episode, child, because we already 22 minutes in it. And I said I didn't want to keep the videos like over an hour. So I'm trying to really bring it on down. So let's go ahead on and look at this first video, which is the Judge Mathis.
Mathis recounts the moment he almost put the pause on Charles Oakley and his crew. Check it out.
We had left the concert. A couple of my guys that I grew up with had just come out of prison a few weeks earlier, and I wanted to treat them to a concert. Charles had some words, and I think he might have been drinking. He likes to drink every now and then. I'll have a drink every now and then. It went too far. And the guys that I had circling around downtown, I got a problem. So they rushed in, and everybody was split up, and Charles drove back to Cleveland that night, 1 a.m. in the snow. Didn't spend the night in Detroit. I'll leave it alone.
Well, look at Judge Mathis running.
1 spoonful of honey with cinnamon before bed equals 0 memory collapse. The secret the billion-dollar industry doesn't want you to know.
Well, let me close that up out of there. All right. Now, let's go to Mr. Oakley's response to that.
Charles Oakley, happy to have you, my man.
It was said about 12 or 14 people. Judge Mathis, all of them. The guy from BET was there, and Queen Latifah. So I knew her from New York days. So we spoke this and that, and I had some young ladies with me. So they went to the restroom, and when they came back, I said, okay, let's go over here. And they said, well, we want to say, hang out with Queen and all of them. I said, I asked, she said it was cool. So I said, okay, go ahead. So we go around the corner, there's a little lounge, like a little bar, round bar. Me, other guys I was with, it was 2 more other guys than me and the 2 females. And so we was waiting for those J's to come, after the show. They changed clothes, and Eric and Eddie, they came over. The mayor was there. And so we just having a good time with my man DC and his guys. And about 2 hours later, and so Judge Mathis, he They say he had plotted what he's gonna do. It was a check, and he tried to, like come over there, and muscle us like, yeah, your girl's over here drinking, this and that. And I'm looking like, what is he talking about? Yeah, y'all NBA guys. I said, hold up. What are you talking about, man? I mean, they been over there. I mean, it's ladies, they ain't drinking like that. It's for you trying to bring us a check. You trying to be a big wheel. Now you want us to pay the tab. I didn't have a problem paying the tab. It's the way how he did it. And I'm looking at DC like, what's up with this? Let it go. I was like, no. He being disrespectful. Come over here about someone came with me and tried to bring a check to me. I wouldn't mind paying for it, but it's the way he did it. And he was, so I said, yeah, y'all over here, this and that. I'm like, man, from number one, you out of order. Just come over here and say, hey, go check. Don't be talking and saying all this and that, because I ain't the one. And he just kept talking, this and that. And I said, no, man, I said, you better get from over here before something really happened. And he said, yeah, well, whatever gonna happen, this and that. And I said, you keep talking. He kept talking, so I stepped toward him. Eddie Vert grabbed me, like, oh, don't do this, man. Oh, I said, man, he's wrong for coming over here. And he's like, yeah, I know he's wrong. And I'm like, DC, you my guy. You let this man do this? D kept saying, oh. So I, tell D, like, man, he disrespect me. You disrespect me not checking him. So I check him and D, but he was like, yeah, I'm going to call my guys on you. I'm like, call them. We right here. So I had another guy with me, right? I gave him the keys to my van. We had a big van, I said, pull around, turn the engine off, turn the radio off, hit the defrost, hit the brakes, because I had a spot in there. That when you do that, it'll come open, like a remote control. So I said, if you see something crazy go on, you know what to do. And we waited, it got out of hand. Everybody was like, oh, this and that. And we was trying to like, no, he been disrespectful, this and that. So he said, I'm going to call my guys. And I said, call them. And, but I heard something he said. He just had two guys came home. One did 20, 30 years. I said, okay, whatever. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I know guys that did 40, 50 years. But he just trying to be cool, trying to, this is my city. I don't care whose city it is. I wasn't disrespecting you, but you disrespect me. I don't care whose city it is. I ain't going to disrespect me. So one thing led to another, and I had to, I told the girls, get to the truck, and they kept talking. I was like, get your ass out of here. And they got mad at me because I said, you can't do nothing. It's a man conversation. That's why I told my guys, bring the van around front and just whatever. So it just kept going back and forth. And Eddie, like, man, don't, Eddie, he's a straight lane. He's a straight little punk. And so as we leave, after about an hour, we wait outside on the way back to Cleveland. And it was in September. He said it was snow outside. So I get a call from Bush Lewis. Bush Lewis called me about 15 times. Oh, I heard what happened. I'm sorry. I said, no, he was dead wrong. Everybody say he was wrong. I know that. So time go past, and so I see him again at Bush Lewis up in Delaware. Had a big retirement party, this and that. And I didn't mess with him because Bush.
I believe him. He just the way he's saying it is just coming off his tongue so easily.
Lewis, Denzel, all the guys were up there. Bob Johnson, who was playing, Spade, Big Wiz. And then I seen this summer at Mustafa Farrakhan's wife passed. He was there. I didn't know he was there. But him and this guy World West, I don't with him no more either. But anyway, he was there. He tried to come and speak to me. I said, "Motherfucker, you can't speak to me." I guess he felt safe. He was in the Mazda in Chicago. So this and that. I was so mad because he tried to speak to me. I ain't get a chance to speak to Mustafa. I just left because because I know 10, 15 more minutes, I was going to I probably did something to him.
And I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, I could go and catch the whole interview over there or the dialogue, but, I do believe Mr. Charles Oakley. I do believe that, it did get out of hand, and, sometimes people do get a lick too cocky, and maybe the judge was feeling himself, the height of his career. That's Judge Mathis calling everybody a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I can believe it. I can believe it. And what I can believe is that you guys gonna hit that follow, share, and like button since I'm up on here. Now, let me go ahead on and run through this real quick. So now Eddie Murphy paid for funerals but refused, his own, right? So I know y'all like, what you talking about? Now Eddie Murphy has been giving considerable thought to his own mortality and has made a firm decision about what happens when he died. The 64-year-old comedian legend wants to spare his loved ones the emotional ordeal of the traditional funeral by being cremated immediately with no service or memorial. The Oscar nominee star, hey, he never won an Oscar? Oh. Shared his unconventional end of life wishes while discussing his new Netflix documentary, Being Eddie, which chronicles his remarkable career and personal life. The revelation came during a conversation with USA Today that shifted from celebrating his accomplishments to thinking about his death, child. Because, it's just so hard, right? Anyway, I wonder if during this Netflix docu they're going to talk about that whole scandal with him and Devon Brown and, the whole transsexual lady, right? Now, Murphy has paid for numerous funerals throughout his life and has attended only two in his 64 years. He went to the services for his biological father, Charles Edward Murphy, who was fatally stabbed by a jealous woman when Murphy was 8, and his stepdad, Vernon Lynch, who served as the best man when Eddie Murphy married his ex-wife, Nicole Murphy, right, in 93. Now, the comedian finds the entire funeral ritual deeply troubling and emotionally overwhelming. He described funerals as morbid events where people gather around loved ones and experience collective trauma. The whole ritual feels like too much for Murphy, right? So, he's an empathy. He's an empathetic person. So he doesn't want the energy like that in the room. Mm, okay. Now, despite his personal feelings about funerals, Murphy has quietly funded final arrangements for numerous people throughout his career. The Being Eddie documentary mentions that he paid for funerals for Redd Foxx, his Harlem Nights co-star, Rick James, Murphy's collaborator on the 1985 hit Party All the Time. Murphy also purchased tombstones for William Billy Thomas Jr., the actor who originally played the role of Buckwheat, and Tim Moore, who played Kingfish on Amos and Andy. Additionally, he has taken care of funeral expenses for friends and relatives whose names he hasn't publicly disclosed. Now, when Murphy dies, he wants immediate cremation with no funeral services. He don't want a memorial. He doesn't want any gathering of any kind. He's adamant about sparing people from standing around looking at him being lowered into the ground and experiencing the emotional trauma of traditional funeral costumes. Now, Murphy has no concern for what happens to his remains after cremation. He simply doesn't want people standing around with his ashes crying. The thought of being in the urn while everyone experiences that emotional moment is exactly what he's trying to avoid for his family. He clarified that crying is allowed and natural, right? But the entire ritual of a funeral is simply too much for him to impose on others. His instructions are straightforward: keep it rolling and move forward without the formal ceremony. While being Eddie Murphy, they talk about his past, include how he joined Saturday Night Live at 19, celebrated his 21st birthday at Studio 54, and rode high on his success of films like Beverly Hills Cops and Shrek. The star prefers to live in the present moment. Murphy doesn't wallow in memories or pine for the good old days or old relationships. Every now and then, memories pop up in his head, but he consistently tries to stay grounded in the here and now rather than dwelling in the past. He compared watching the documentary to going through an old photo album. The experiences brought up emotions, particularly when reminiscing about his older brother, Charlie Murphy, who died from leukemia in 2017 at the age of 57. Now, Charlie Murphy, a comedian and actor who appeared on episodes of The Chappelle Show and co-wrote Norbit and Vampire in Brooklyn with his younger brother, remains a tender subject. When Murphy started talking about his brother during the documentary, the emotion surfaced. He described it as a little flicker of feeling, just enough that you notice it. The loss of his brother clearly affected Murphy deeply, sorry. Though he maintains his preference for living in the present rather than dwelling on painful memories. Now, when asked who the real Eddie Murphy is, the comedian legend, seemingly slightly perplexed by the question, he described himself as a unique human being and a really creative person who can express creatively, in different ways. That's simply who he is. The Being Eddie Murphy documentary features interviews from comedian legends, including Dave Chappelle, Pete Davidson, legendary comedian. Cha, words matter. Jamie Foxx, Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, Tracy Ellis Ross, and Jerry Seinfeld. The hour and 43-minute film explores Murphy's life and career from multiple perspectives. Now, Murphy is a proud father of 10 children, ranging from the age of 7 to 35. Excuse me. His children briefly appear in the documentary, though he clearly prefers to keep them out of the spotlight when possible. He stated that at the center of everything is his relationship with his children. They represent his greatest accomplishments and his true legacy. Murphy's world revolves around them, and everything else in his life comes after his kids. His focus on family examples explains his desire to spare them from the trauma of a traditional funeral. By choosing immediate cremation with no service, Murphy hopes to allow his children to grieve privately without the added pressure of public ceremony. Being Eddie streams on Netflix starting November the 12th, offering fans an intimate look at the comedian's iconic, remarkable journey while respecting his preferences for living in the present moment. I am going to watch that. You know how some people you don't get enough of. I don't. I haven't gotten enough of Eddie Murphy, so I'm gonna go ahead on and I'm gonna catch that. Now, child. Now, how much money would you be willing to take if you was married to a billionaire and y'all was divorced? Now, the lady from Amazon, she got half of everything, and I mean half of everything. That lady has been going around blessing HBCUs and in it, everybody. She has been helping out. Okay, she has been doing the Lord's work. Now, there's this billionaire, right, named Dave Geffens. His ex is demanding more than $50,000 in child support. He doesn't want what he's offered. Girl, let me read this to you. Now, the billionaire's ex-husband fights for an increase in support. Now, the dramatic divorce between entertainment mogul David Geffen and his former go-go dancer husband, Devon Michaels, has escalated with new legal filings demanding an increase financially, right? Now, the 82-year-old billionaire faces claims from his 32-year-old estranged husband that the proposed $50,000 a month is inadequate. Yeah, it's inadequate, child. Now, in legal documents filed recently and obtained by the Daily Mail, Michaels made startling revelations about the couple's lifestyle during their 23-month marriage. He claimed that Griffin spent an astonishing $3 million every month on living expenses while they were together, making the offer 50,000 monthly support seem minuscule by comparison. Michaels, who also goes by the name David Armstrong, argued that Griffin is attempting to aggressively limit his access to both temporary and permanent spousal support. The former dancer specifically objected to Griffin's request that he only pay support for a few additional months, prompting a swift response from the billionaire's legal team. Right now, the legal battle has seen both sides making serious allegations against each other. Michaels claimed in his filing that Griffin solicited Donovan when he was a vulnerable young foster care grad and subsequently subjected him to physical, emotional, and psychological harm. Griffin, though, through Griffin, through his attorney, countered those claims by highlighting the substantial support he has already provided. The billionaire stated he has given Michaels $400,000 since their separation and has allowed him to remain rent-free in a $15,000 per month New York City apartment. The entertainment magnate also revealed he paid close to $200,000 for Michaels to stay at a private ultra luxury drug rehabilitation center for as long as required. Additionally, Griffin's legal team stated he has paid at least $500,000 to Michaels since their separation and contributed $50,000 towards his former partner's legal fees. The financial gulf between um, the financial gulf between the former couple is substantial, with Forbes estimating Griffin's wealth at approximately $9 billion. Now, let me tell you something. Ain't no way my husband, who is worth $9 billion, is gonna be telling me he's giving me $50,000 a month. Now, meanwhile, documents filed on October the 31st show Michaels listed his $7,500 in cash and savings, though he acknowledged receiving unspecific amounts of money from Mr. Griffin. So he's not denying that he got money from him. Now, Griffin initially filed for divorce in May, citing irreconcilable differences after less than 2 years of marriage. The couple had wed in March of 2023 without a prenup agreement. Wait a minute now. Hold on. I'm going to read that to y'all again. The couple wed in March of 2023 without a prenuptial agreement after meeting in 2020. Their separation date was listed as February 22, 2025. In a signed declaration, Griffin expressed frustration with the proceedings, stating, "While I have continued to support Donovan and I have made every effort to reach a global settlement in this matter, Donovan and his legal team have not participated in good faith. The case continues to develop as both parties prepare for mediation, with Griffin's lawyer telling TMZ they would seek to resolve the financial conflict in mediation." So they better do something, child, because I'm going to tell you something. Listen, you could call me what you want, but you ain't going to call me for less than $100,000 a month. I won't, we ain't even, listen, $9 billion, I want $250 a month. I'm talking about $250 a month. I want $250 a month. And we could go out of court right there. Hold on. $250 a month. If we can't do $250, we can't do nothing. We could go ahead on it. We ain't even got to sit at the table. Now, I pulled up the y'all see the Asian lady going across with the actor guy. So I kept seeing this, and I kept seeing blind items on this guy, and I just I like to look at the little blind items on like Lipstick Alley and stuff like that or whatnot. Try to guess who it is, but they keep coming up with this Jeremy Renner, right? Like he just is all these different allegations, all these different blind items on him, right? Okay, so I said, well, now since this is actually being reported by Page Six, I'm gonna report on it because everything else is just blind items. Now, Jeremy Renner has hit his accuser, Ying Yang. Listen, this is an Asian lady. I can't say that. We're gonna call him Miss Yang, with a cease and desist letter after the filmmaker accused him of sending her intimate photos and threatening to call ICE. He threatened to call ICE on that lady earlier this week. Yes, because this article just came out today. So this is fresh. Hot tea. In his legal letter obtained by Page Six, the Hawkeye star denied her claims against him, calling them false, fabricated, and salacious lies, right? And accused her of aggressively pursuing him with inappropriate messages and photos. Okay, so now he's saying she's doing it to him and vice versa. So that's easy right there to find out. Now Renner, 54, claimed he agreed to collaborate with her on a documentary, Chronicles of Disney, but the filmmaker went on to make a pass at him. The actor explained that they had a brief consensual encounter, but that was the extent of their relationship. He said that he ended things with her in August, right? Now, she is saying, okay, so however, after he drove her to the airport, he claimed that she sent him hundreds of explicit messages in an attempt to continue the relationship, like, once she left. Now, in One of the explicit messages she allegedly wrote, I want him inside of me so bad, so badly. F me, baby. He claims she also sent him a message talking about playing with his fake giant thing while she was thinking about the real giant thing. In the letter, he accuses her of threatening to harm him in public unless he agreed to promote her documentary and make it falsely appear they're in a romantic relationship. Oh, that sounds psychotic, child. Now, reps for Renner did not immediately respond to Page Six's request for comment. TMZ was the first to report on this news. Now, the update comes shortly after Renner hit back at her allegations against him, completely denying her version of events in an exclusive statement shared with Page Six. Now, the allegations being made are totally inaccurate and untrue. She accused Renner of sending her personal and intimate messages and threatening to call ICE on her after their falling out via Instagram on Monday. Now, he convinced me of his sincerity, saying he had been single for a long time and open to a long-term relationship. I believed him in the power of love and in the possibility of redemption. That is what she said now. Now, she went on to allege that the Marvel actor then entered into written agreements with her production company, but later refused to promote their project and denied their personal and professional involvement with her. She shared online, in quote, when I called him out privately about his past misconduct and asked him to behave properly, to respect me as a woman and as a filmmaker, he threatened to call immigration ICE on me and act that deeply shocked and frightened me. On Thursday, she went further with her claims against Renner by sharing a screenshot from a video clip that she claims the Marvel alum sent her via the WhatsApp app. The video depicts a male porn actor and a female porn actress engaged in a sexual act. She claimed Renner allegedly sent her the clip along with a message that read, "Oh yes, this is okay." Along with the alleged incident, she claims she has a collection of those photos and the porn gifs that he sent her. Mm. Now, she also is claiming that she and Renner began a brief romance after the actor introduced himself to her in June. In September, she hinted at her romantic relationship with Renner by sharing several snippets and a recording of the two riding, in Reno, Nevada, where that's his hometown. And just weeks before she made her bombshell claims against Renner, she rivaled and revered and was talking all this good stuff to the Daily Mail that the couple had found new love with each other months after Renner recovery, his recovery from his near fatal snowplow incident. So I don't know how to take this, y'all, because it sounds like, when what was that movie? The hand, not the hand. Well, what's like the hand that rock the cradle? You know how when you think it's something and then you realize it's nothing, but the other person they haven't realized it's nothing. So now you're trying to either wait for them to realize it's nothing, or you just kind of just be like, listen, it ain't nothing, and then they really just don't want to accept it. Now I'm gonna tell you what y'all really don't want to accept is that the Mega Millions jackpot jumps to $843 million. That's the eighth largest in game history. Now the Mega Millions game prize has climbed to an estimated $843 million, making it the eighth largest jackpot in the game's history. Lottery officials say the winning numbers will be drawn Friday. I don't think nobody hit it yet, child. According to the Mega Millions, Friday drawing will be the 38th since the pot was last hit in June 27th in Virginia. Now, that runs, what is that? Okay, hold on, my bad. Okay, now that run marks the longest stretch without a jackpot winner since the game launched in 2002, surpassing the previous record of 37 drawings set on January the 22nd, 2021, when a um, $1.50 million, well, $1 billion prize was won in Michigan. Listen, I don't be believing in that lottery, to be honest with you. I refuse to give the people my money because you know how it had came out that it was all a setup. It was all a scheme set up by Tide a couple years ago. Yeah, that's true. It was a scheme set up by Tide. And yeah, so all I'm gonna say is be careful because people gonna do what they want to do. And I don't know why my dog. Hold on one second. I don't know why people be doing the crazy things that they do. But what I will say is I appreciate you listening this long. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. And if you are hearing this on a Sunday, that means that this is just a repeat. And I am doing repeats because I am trying to build my channel up and get my following up. And I do not have the time to compete with content creators that sit on Twitch 7 days a week, 24/7. I just can't do it. So just work with me until I get this together. But in the meantime and in between time, please share, like, subscribe to my channel. And, you know, consistency is key. And I will see you guys, if not tomorrow, Monday for sure. Till then, toodles.
Oh, I know.